Alright, so we're playing Vaalmonica. I really wanted to make this deck list because this deck is honestly just very good. It's decently consistent. Uh, I really like playing it. I've actually been ranking up in Diamond with it. I might try taking it to Master. Who knows? Um, 3 Maxi because Maxi. 3 Ash because also Maxi, and it's just a good card in general in this format. 2 Zoroa, the Majestus Flame. The reason this is good is you can target a Majestus monster you control and equip it with a Majestus monster from your extra deck. So you're going to target itself, because when it becomes equipped with a Majestus monster, you can special summon a level 4 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Now, why is this good? This is good because you have the Cellatrix, and Cellatrix is a level 4 monster. So what you can do is you can Pendulum Summon both of these guys out. You can use Cellatrix to go into a Link 1, do Link 1 shenanigans, and then use Cellatrix effect to recur it back to your hand. You can normal summon it, climb into a Link 2 or whatever else you want, thus sending the Link 1 to the graveyard. And then you can use the what's it called? The effect basically to recur to your hand. Once you've done that, you can basically normal summon it out if you want to. So you can do that Link 2 climb. And then once you've climbed to Link 2, you can use the Zora effect to special summon it from the graveyard to climb to Link 3 or whatever else you might want to do with it. It's just really good recursion, and it allows you to set up links in graveyard for Borreload Savage Dragon. And because this is a tuner, once you special summon it with this effect, if you don't end up going into Link 3, you could instead go into Borreload Savage and have a 1 or 2 negate set up. So very decent tech in this deck. Shout out to the person on Master Duel Meta who was running this and kind of documented some of the plays you can make with this deck, because the techs that you can run in this are there are a lot. There's a lot of tech choices, and we'll go over them kind of at the end. But next we have Cellatrix Vaalmonica, which is a normal summon boss monster, which is kind of funny because there's actually an animation just for normal summoning it. But if you control a monster except Cellatrix Vaalmonica, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks, which that's whatever. You can only use each of the effects of Cellatrix Vaalmonica once per turn. If it's normal or if it's normal or pendulum summoned, not special summoned, normal or pendulum summoned, you can add 1 Vaalmonica card from your deck to your hand, except Cellatrix Vaalmonica. If it's sent to the graveyard and you have 2 Vaalmonica cards in your pendulum zone, add this card to your hand. I love that recursion effect. I love that it's just a free add a card to your hand. It's just awesome. And it is a hard once per turn, unfortunately. I really wish it wasn't, but then it would be too broken. 1 Nibiru. We're just running it because it's Nibiru and sometimes you need it. 3 Angelo Vaalmonica. This is the angel on your shoulder. If this card's in your hand, you can discard 1 other card, take 1 Demono Vaalmonica from your deck, and place it and this card in your pendulum zone. So this lets you immediately set up the 2 scales, which is great. During your main phase, if this card was normal or special summoned, you can banish a Vaalmonica normal spell or trap card from your graveyard, apply whichever effect on that card includes gaining life points, so the good effect, and you can only use each effect of Angelo Vaalmonica once per turn. Now, the pendulum effect is every time you gain life points while you control a fiend monster card in your other pendulum zone, which would be the demon on your shoulder, you can place 1 resonance counter on this card. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, immediately after this card effect resolves, you can link summon 1 Vaalmonica monster. So if you have something on the field, you can immediately link summon into one of these guys, and we'll go into them in a little bit. But this is great. The entire concept of the deck is this is the angel on your shoulder, this is the demon on your shoulder, and you make choices depending on them. If this card's in your hand as that same effect, you can discard 1 card, but you take the angel and you place that in this one in the pendulum zones. So even if I draw into both of these. Most of the time, I will just discard one of the other ones to activate the effect to set up scales, because they can't really stop that with Ash because it sets from the deck. Um, Incredibly good effect. During your main phase, if it's normal or special summon, you can banish a Vaalmonica, normal, spell, or trap from your deck, and you apply effect, whichever includes taking damage. So the air quotes bad effect. And you can only use each effect of Demono Vaalmonica once per turn. So it's pendulum effect. Every time you take damage, while you control a fairy monster card in your other pendulum zone, it gets a resonance counter on this card, which is good. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack for each resonance counter on your field, and that shit is awesome. It stacks, and it really just makes your opponent's monsters super wimpy because you can just tear through your deck placing counters on it. 2 triple tactics talents. The draw 2 effect on this has saved me numerous times. The take control effect has won me games numerous times. I haven't really used the look at your opponent's hand effect as much, but if your opponent activates a monster effect during your main phase, you can activate one of these 3 effects. You've probably seen this card before in like a bunch of other deck profiles. It's really good in this deck. 1 Pot of Prosperity. You just really need the consistency from this. I'd run 2 or 3 if I could. Banish 3 or 6 of your choice from your extra deck face down. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, any damage your opponent takes is halved. Excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards banished. Add 1 excavated card to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can only activate 1 Pot of Prosperity per turn, and you cannot draw cards by card effects the turn you activate this. That will only affect one of your Vaalmonica cards, and we'll go over that in a little. Vaalmonica Skelta. Apply one of these effects unless you have a Vaalmonica card in your Pendulum Zone. Your opponent chooses the effect. So you really want to have a Vaalmonica card in your Pendulum Zone because 1, you want the counters, and 2, you want to be able to pick your effect. So all the Vaalmonica cards basically have the good effect where you gain 500 life points, and the bad effect where you take 500 damage. So this one, the first effect is you gain that 500 life points. You can place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, control 2 cards. This is awesome because sometimes you'll have dead draws or multiple copies so you can't activate in the same turn, and you'll be able to make your hand more live. So that is really cool. The other awesome part is when you play it, they don't know what effect you're going to use. They would just have to ash it because you get to choose like when you're resolving the effect, not when you activate it. So you activate it, they have to choose if they're going to ash it or not. The other effect is to take 500, add 1 Vaalmonica spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except Celta. So you can basically search whatever you need, or you can draw. So this card is insanely good. Definitely won 3 copies. I personally like 2 copies of Vaalmonica Versae. Some people only run 1. I think 2 is the best. I think 3 is too many, and 2 is just right. So, same thing. Apply one of the effects. If you don't have a Vaalmonica card in your Pendulum Zone, your opponent's going to choose the effect. You can either gain 500 life points, excavate cards from the top of your deck until you excavate a Vaalmonica, then add that card to your hand, then shuffle the rest into the deck. Take 500 and send a Vaalmonica card from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 Vaalmonica Versae per turn. And then we have Vaalmonica Entonar. I wasn't playing this until recently in the deck, but I see why this is better than the other tech choice that I had. I was originally running 2 of Disarmia, but this card is actually very decent. So the first effect is gain the 500 life points. Then if you have any monsters that can be special summoned in your graveyard, your opponent chooses one for your special summon to your field. I don't mind that they choose too much because pretty much everything on my graveyard is going to be live. And even if it's not, it's good link fodder. Or take 500 damage, then add 1 level 4 monster from your graveyard to your hand. So just both effects are pretty decent. And this is easy to search, and it's easy to recur because you can banish it with one of these dudes' effects and get the effect, and then use the Vaalmonica card that lets you add a banished Vaalmonica card back to your hand. So if you ever need to use it more than once, you can. So running one copy of it is just fine. We're running one Disarmia, which is gain 500 life points. You can add a Banished Vaalmonica card from your deck. Sorry, you can add a Banished Vaalmonica card to your hand, not from your deck. How would it be banished if it's in your deck? What's wrong with me today? Take 500, add a Vaalmonica card from your graveyard to your hand, except Disarmia. So this card is great because it lets you recur from grave or from banished. Just good all around. 3 Vaalmonica, the Agathological Voice. You're running this for consistency. I personally don't really ever activate more than 2. But you're running this for consistency. If you get the third one in your hand and you don't want it, you just use the other one that lets you draw 2 and return 1 to return it to the deck. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Vaalmonica monster from your deck to your hand. So any of the pendulums or the main monster, you can just add. If this card is in your pendulum zone, if this card is on the field and you have a card in your pendulum zone and it has its 3rd resonance counter placed on it, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it to the end phase, but it cannot declare an attack. You can only use this effect of Vaalmonica, the voice of Vaalmonica Agatholial Voice, or whatever it's called, once per turn. And you can only activate one of them once per turn. So both of those are hard ones per turn. Still, it's a search, and it's a brain control, basically. Or what's the other one? Mind control, basically. But the best part about that is all your Vaalmonica links are just generic one effect monster. So you can just take control of something problematic your opponent has and link it away. And sometimes, even if you already have one on the field and you have another one of these in hand, you might as well just activate the other one in hand on your next turn so you can get the search. And notice how it says when the 3rd is placed on one of these guys. So you basically can do it on this one or on this one, and you can set counters in advance, kind of determine when you want to take control of a monster. But very decent. 2 called by, 1 cross out, 2 Invitare, Vaalmonica Invitare. I was running 3. I found that 3 was really cloggy, and running 2 is actually seemed just a lot better. I know some of the decks that you'll see on like decklist sites have 3. I don't think 3 is correct. I think 2 is correct. Having 3 is just way too cloggy. Apply one of these effects. If you can special summon 1 Vaalmonica monster from your deck, and for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you cannot activate effects of monsters on the field except Vaalmonica monsters. Remember that says on the field, so you can still use your hand traps. If you control a non-pendulum Vaalmonica monster, you can take 2 Vaalmonica pendulum monsters with different names, add one of them to your hand, and put the other in the extra deck. So this is awesome, because let's say you have this, and you have this in hand, and you have something you want to clone in hand. You can summon this, get the ad, have this on like board or whatever, and not have the other one on board. Or you don't even need to have it on board. You could just, I mean, I would prefer to have it on board, but you can just take 2 Vaalmonica monsters, put 1 on the board, and then the other in the pendulum, the extra deck zone, and you can then pendulum summon out that, and you can even pendulum summon out this, or you can link this away and then recur it and pendulum summon out both. You just have a lot of options with that. So both these effects, crazy good, but it's a hard once per turn, and running 3 just seemed like it was cloggy. 3 Imperm, and then 1 Vaalmonica followed Rhythm. So apply one of these effects. You must control a Vaalmonica monster card to activate and resolve this effect. If you control a Vaalmonica Link monster, you can apply both in sequence. So it's gain 500, destroy a spell or trap in the field, take 500, return a monster from the field to the hand. And notice this does not target, which is really awesome. You can only activate 1 Vaalmonica followed Rhythm per turn, and you can also banish this to use the effect by summoning one of these guys, and then recur it if you need it by adding the banished back to your hand. So just very decent all around. Now for the extra deck, one Borload. This card's just really good, and it's very easy to put like a Link 1 or Link 2 engrave with this. It's incredibly easy when you think about the fact that this is going to be in the grave because you attached it to the Zora, so you don't really even have to give up one of your actual Link monsters. You just attach it, synchro with the Vaalmonica and the Zora, and you get Borload, and you instantly have a single negate drop in the graveyard as a result. If you want to, and you have the URs for it, or you already have it made for other decks, I swear, there's another one. There's another Majestus that's like a three drop. That'll give you 3 negates, and you don't even have to actually summon it. Or am I just going crazy? I know they haven't. I know there's a 3-drop one, but I'm just running the 1-drop because I didn't want to have to use more URs to make a 3-drop. That's literally my reason. Maybe I'll do that in due time. We're running one Abyss Dweller because Tyr is back in the rotation. Tyr's all over again. I'm really tired of seeing it. One number 3. The reason we're running this is because this guy just makes all the attack of your monsters different than its original attack. If you have even one counter on it. And number 103 is once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material, target one face of attack position monster your opponent controls whose attack is different than its original attack, destroy it, and draw a card. So this is just a free pop anything during your turn or your opponent's turn. I haven't played this card since what would it have been? Fire Fist format. I haven't played this since Fire Fist format. But it's back. One number 41. If you can't set up or don't have the best board, you can always play number 41 and stall your opponent out. This card has been great in recent replays. One number 60. Sometimes you just need it. You skip your next draw phase, but you can draw 2 cards and discard one, or you can skip your next main phase and you can special summon a monster from your graveyard in defense, or you can skip the battle phase and double the attack one monster you control until the end of the turn. That third effect is going to be important for this guy, and we'll get into that in a little bit. One Zeus, because you just have so many options for Zeus in this. The one Artemis, which you're running for this guy, you could actually link into it with the Vaalmonica and then recur it to your hand to link ladder climb, but I don't really do that personally. One Duraloom, Vaalmonica, Heathen Hollow. Sorry, 2 actually. I'm running 2. Every deck list I've seen online is running 1, and you can do that if you need the space, but I prefer 2. And the reason I prefer 2 is everyone is running Unicorn right now. I saw a ton of Cash Tier decks in low diamond and all throughout platinum, and they would just banish this or they'd banish this, and so having a second copy helps with that because then you don't have to worry about it as much. So I prefer to run 2. Cannot be link summoned unless you have 3 or more resonance counters on fairy monster card or cards in your pendulum zone, so you can have them split between the 2. You can only special summon Duraloom, Vaalmonica, Heathen Hollow once per turn. And when it's link summoned, you can target monsters your opponent controls up to the number of resonance counters in your pendulum zone, destroy them. I thought you had to remove the counters for that, but you don't. It's just free. So if you have like 3 counters, you could just get 3 pops, which that's insanity. It's awesome. The second effect is you can remove 3 resonance counters from your pendulum zone. This card can make up to 3 attacks during the battle phase this turn. So this guy and this guy, you got a nice little OTK right there. This guy and any other monster, if your opponent doesn't have a board, you got a nice little OTK right there. And both those situations have happened, and I think I have at least one of those in the replay. But this being able to attack 3 times with potentially 5,000 attack, super good. But just in general, this is a very good card. It only takes 1 effect monster. So if you take one of your opponent's monsters with a field spell, you can just link it right away into this. This is also a very good card. The Zebrfa Vaalmonica Hollow Heathen cannot be link summoned unless you have 3 or more resonance counters on Fiend monster cards. So this one is Fairy. You have to have the 3 on the Fairy. It can't be split between the two. I'm dumb. So this one is you have 3 on the Fiend monster cards. You can only summon Zebrufa once per turn, card once per turn. If a card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove 3 resonance counters from your pendulum zone instead. So that's pretty good. The other good effect I like is once per turn, quick effect, you can target one of your Vaalmonica normal spells and traps that's banished or in your graveyard and apply that card's activation. So it's a free extender. It's kind of like one of these, except you don't have to banish it. You can even choose one of the banished cards. So I've used like that and one of the scales with, where is it? With this to just constantly draw cards. Just tear through my deck to get what I want. And I've drawn into like hand traps with that multiple times to be prepared for my opponent's turn. This card is just very good. 1 Fire Charmer Ablaze. This is a fire card. It'll help you make it. That's the other reason why I really like running it. Shout out to Master Duel Meta for the list of techs for the deck. We're going to get into more techs for it very soon. But the Fire Charm is great because you can just like target one of your opponent's fire cards in their grave and use that in the link one to push for game, or target one in the grave to bring it back and then like link it away and link Ladder Climb. This card's just good in general. 1 LP Mask. There are situations where you're going to want to use this. 1 SP Little Knight. This card is just good. Like, it's just good. I don't know what else to say about it. The fact that you can use like one of your easy to link ones with that is, it just makes it super live. I'm actually even thinking about running a second copy of Artemis. I don't know what I would take out for it at this point. I'll have to do more testing. Just because you can so easily go into Artemis with the Cellatrix and then recur Cellatrix because you have the scales. There's just so much you can do with this deck. On first glance, on paper, it just looks really bad, but in practicality, it plays really well. And I was like, oh, I'll play this for the meme. And then I was like, wow, I actually really like this deck and want to play this. And wow, I'm ranking up in Diamond with this. And I'm running 1 Goddess of the Closed World. I almost never actually use this, but there have been situations where I need it because my only option is to link away what my opponent has on the board. So I am just running the 1. I don't see many other Vaalmonica players running this, but I think it's really worth it. I'm going to hit save just in case I changed something before this. And now we're going to go to replays. So this is just cool. Like, this is honestly just really cool. And I have a lot of replays with this deck showing cool things that it can do. I like cannot recommend this enough. I've been very excited with this. So this is like a bad hand, but we're gonna make the best of it. Just play it, add it, play it, bam, link into Majestus, and then bam, effect. And I'm just gonna set the call by. And we're just gonna hope for the best here. I get Kaiju'd, and they're gonna do things, and they're gonna want to draw 2, and I'm just like, okay, cool. And so they're discouraged enough not to try to go for game. If it was me, I would have tried to just take the Maxi challenge at this point. But we're gonna do Vaalmonica things. We're ready. We got this going. We're going to recur the Vaalmonica, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I've got some options now. I might be able to pull this out. Salad's not the most meta deck, but we will play against very meta decks in the replays, like tier 1 decks. This is just the first one that was on the list, and I wanted to play it just to show that even if you have a bad hand, you can make it a good hand. I switched out Duster for Crossout Designator because I felt like Crossout Designator had better utility. But you can run Duster if you want to, because even if it's not live, you can just return it if you draw into it. But look at that. We got a board. We're doing things. And they gave up because they know that I'm just going to smack them for game. but the deck the deck has options and I really like it. There are so many options. So we're going second this time, and that's fine because this deck actually doesn't have the worst going second capabilities. We also drew into Maxi and Ash, that really helps. They're gonna banish. They banished Zeus. I don't think that was the right thing for them to banish personally, but that's just me. Uh, we're gonna let them do the Shangri-La BS where they just do stuff. So now it's my turn. We're gonna negate that one. I'm just gonna let them do things. They're gonna max C me, and I'm gonna be like, I'm very glad I didn't use Ash there because now I'm gonna Ash the max C. They're gonna keep taking my zones, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, cool, whatever, bro. Honestly, I should have discarded one of the two duplicate spells instead there. That was a misplay, but I don't know why I went for that either. Still learning the deck at this point, but that's okay. We're just doing stuff. Now I have 3, and I can go into the Heathen, and I'm just going to be like, cool, pop everything. Now remove the 3 counters, be able to attack 3 times, and attack with LP Mask, and we have game. So they surrendered, because they knew I had lethal on board. But that was against Kashtira. Kashtira is like, right now in the meta, in my opinion. I should probably record the tier list today, too, now that I actually like in Diamond and I'm seeing higher tier decks. I kind of got a good feel for the meta. Maybe I'll play a little more before I do that. I want to be really sure and have like an accurate opinion before I do the tier list. So here's tier elements. We're gonna try to max C, and they're gonna not let us do it. That's okay. We're still gonna do things. We do not have a very good hand at this point, and it is what it is. We're gonna get our scale set up. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna pendulum summon it because we can. And we're just gonna do things. We really didn't get where we wanted to that turn. The tier player doesn't have many resources, and they didn't get good mills, so thankfully we don't have to worry too much. At this point, we get the second max C, which that really, really helps. They're gonna return the field spell, and I'm like, okay, sure. We'll take 28 on the chin, it's fine. At this point, our hand is actually looking really, really good. They're just doing things. I'm like, okay, cool. You do you, boo-boo. I'm going to take your monster. I'm going to do more shenanigans. I'm going to play even more shenanigans. And I'm just going to keep on getting those add effects, getting those draw effects. And we're just going to go into Dweller, and we're just going to be half goo. And we made the mistake of not activating Dweller, but it's fine. We're still gonna win. We should have activated Dweller, like went into Dweller first, and then used the effect pop. But like, it's okay. We could have won that turn, but we're still set up well enough. I'm still learning the deck at this point, so I'm gonna point out those misplays. But we won. We beat Tier, which that was actually pretty freaking sweet. And then I can't remember if this is one of my Chimera branded replays, because I want to do a deck update for that, or if this is one of my Vaalmonica replays. So we're just going to see. Okay, cool. This was Chimera. But yeah, that's Vaalmonica. The deck is really good. I just played against someone too that is also just a good playthrough where they just ended up surrendering. It was a really good match. But anyway, if you guys like this, please give the video a like. I don't have the graphic for it right now, but now my code with Dubby actually gives you 20% off, which is even better. Dubby is giving me a little bit more wiggle room with that. If you don't know what W is, check the link in the description down below. It is the sponsor for the channel. It is an amazing energy drink. It's basically a competitor to other things like G Fuel or Gamer Supps. They now have cans as well as the powder, but I like the powder. I just mix it into my shaker. I really like it because it gives me more energy than like a canned energy drink from the grocery store, and because you can get a tub of it for like 30 bucks. I get like 40 energy drinks out of it, and that's pretty insane, honestly. So I really enjoy it. I like the peach mango orange creamsicle flavor and the pink lemonade dragon fruit flavor. The blue raspberry is also really good. But check the link out down below in the description if you want yourself an energy drink and you want yourself an energy drink that's really good and works out to being really cheap, like per serving. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.